upon a time, in a quiet village nestled by lush green fields, there lived a flock of mischievous crows. These crows were known for their sly nature, always swooping into the neighbor farms and fields to steal grains and corn from the hardworking farmers. They had no care in the world, no worries about the consequences of their actions, as their days were spent filling their bellies with stolen food. Among these crows was a clever and cunning leader. He was the one who guided the group and led their raids on the farms. His sharp eyes could spot the ripened crops, and he always knew when the farmers were away or distracted. Under his leadership, the crows never went hungry, and they enjoyed their lives of stealing without any remorse. Not far from where the crows lived, in a wooden coop in a small farmer's backyard, lived a lonely pigeon. Her name was Pearl. Pearl had once been well-fed, cherished pet of the farmer. But lately, things had changed. The farmer had grown old and forgetful, and in his old age, he often forgot to feed her. Days went by, and Pearl found herself growing weaker and weaker with hunger. She missed the days where she would receive handfuls of fresh seeds and grains. Now, her coop felt like a prison, and her wings, once strong, had become weak from lack of use. One day, Pearl was sitting on the edge of her coop, gazing at the fields in the distance, when she noticed a group of crows flying towards the farmland. They looked hungry and full of life, their feathers closely and their movements quick. She watched as they landed on the crops, helping themselves to the grains without a care in the world. Her stomach growled in hunger. She thought to herself, "These crows seem to have plenty of food. Perhaps they can help me." With that thought, Pearl gathered her courage, spread her wings, and flew over the group of crows. She landed a little hesitantly in front of the leader crow and nervously said, "Hello, crow leader. You seem to be enjoying a good life with plenty of food. I've been starving for days. Would you allow me to join your group? I would fly with you and help you gather food. In return, I'd be grateful to share in your bounty." The leader crow tilted his head, considering Pearl's request. He had never had a pigeon in his group before, but he saw no harm in it. In fact, he thought it might be amusing to have someone new around. "Of course," the crow leader replied with a sly smile. "You are welcome to join us. We fly every day to the fields to gather grains. From now on, you will fly with us." Pearl was overjoyed. She had finally found a way to fill her empty stomach. From that day onward, Pearl flew with the crows to the neighbor farms. Day after day. They would stealthily land on the fields, gather grains, and fly back to their nests. The once hungry pigeon now had more food than she had ever dreamed of. The days of her master's neglect were forgotten, and she enjoyed her new life with her feathered companions. Time passed, and Pearl became a regular part of the group. The crows treated her like one of their own, and she grew used to their ways. She no longer worried about where her next meal would come from. Life was easy, and she grew stronger and more confident with each passing day. But little did Pearl realize that the life of stealing and talking wasn't hers would soon come at a cost. One fateful morning, the crow leader announced that they would heading to a new farm, one they had never raided before. This farm is rich with crops, he called. We'll have a feast today. Excited by the prospect of fresh haul, Pearl and the other crows set off into the sky, following the leader to the new farm. When they arrived, the field looked untouched, the crops swaying gently in the breeze. It was a perfect opportunity. The crows, along with Pearl, eagerly swooped down onto the crops, peeking and tearing at the grains. But what they didn't notice was that the farmer had been watching them for days. He had grown tired of the crows stealing his hard-earned, and he had devised a plan to catch them. Without warning, Pearl felt something strange under her feet. She flapped her wings to take off, but to her horror, she found herself trapped. The farmer had laid a large invisible net across the field, and as the crows and Pearl landed on it, they were caught. The more they struggled, the more tangled they became. Panic spread among the group as they realized they had been caught in a trap. The crow leader, who had always been so confident, was now frantically flapping his wings. But it was no use. Pearl too was trapped, and her heart sank as she realized the danger they were in. As they lay there, helpless and waiting to the farmer to come, Pearl had time to reflect on her choices. She had left her master, who had cared for her, even if he had become neglectful in his old age. She had joined the crows in their dishonest ways, thinking only her immediate hunger and forgetting the consequences of her actions. Now she was paying the price. Pearl looked over at the crow leader, who was still struggling in vain, and thought, bad company will always lead to trouble. I should never have joined them in their dishonest ways. Soon enough, the farmer appeared, holding a large sack. He gathered up the net, along with the trapped birds, and took them away. Pearl didn't know what fate awaited her, but she knew one thing for certain. Her greed and poor choices had led her here. The moral of the story is clear. Surrounding yourself with dishonest or harmful companions can lead you down a path of trouble and regret. Bad company. Please like, share, comment and subscribe for more interesting videos.